I did an antisocial thing in that I got sucked into timings and I decided, actually I think I can make this on 24 hours. For as long as I can remember, I've always loved training and working towards achieving an end goal, whether that was competing in climbing as a youth, racing enduro in my 20s, or just taking on big challenges. Kind of putting effort into something and then seeing the rewards at the end of it has always been really important to me. So in 2020, when the pandemic hit, I went from religiously training 6 days a week to focusing on our business because dirt school was closed and we couldn't operate given that everything was in lockdown. So we chose to diversify and set up Tweed Valley Bikes. So every spare hour I had went into that, and naturally training was completely neglected. But I guess that's kind of the way it goes in life. Like sometimes you'll be able to train really hard all the time and you'll have the time to dedicate, and then sometimes you'll have much less, or in this case you'll be able to dedicate essentially no time at all to training. For some winter motivation, I decided to enter the Strathpuffer, which is a 24-hour mountain bike race that takes place in the middle of winter in Scotland. And the kind of idea there was I was going to be able to push myself to the physical limit and re-find that resilience in riding that I felt that I'd lost. So I asked fellow dirt school coach Fi to join me and ride that as a pair, which she quite quickly agreed to, and we put an entry in straight away. With the way things have been going over the last 2 years, it kind of came as no surprise. In the run up to Christmas, the Strathpuffer was looking like it was going to be cancelled. So straight away I was like, right, okay, I need a backup plan, I need a plan B, I need something to continue to work towards that same weekend to keep that winter motivation high. And the Capital Trail in one push was kind of the obvious choice to tick all those same boxes. So the Capital Trail has been on my radar for a while now, and that's a 240 kilometre off-road bikepacking route with 5,200 metres of climbing that is normally done over 3 days. And it goes through Edinburgh, East Lothian and the Scottish borders. So the goal was to do that in just one push in mid-January, where the ground conditions are basically as horrific as they could possibly be, and there's 17 hours of darkness to negotiate. So yeah, the reason behind the Capital Trail for me was I wanted to prove to myself that I could still find that buzz of doing something where I push myself to that physical limit and achieve an end goal, but without having to be at my peak fitness level. So with that in mind, I pitched the idea to Fi, and she was immediately on board, like, yep, absolutely, I'm going to give that a go as well, and the plan was formed. Yeah, so we set off at around just after 6 a.m. that morning with high hopes for the route, and just to go out there and kind of see what happened. Sun's starting to come up. We're on the hiker bike. Yeah, we're just heading up to the summit of Burke's Cairn. That's a hard bit done. Hello.
How are you?
Good. See you soon. Part of the appeal of the Capital Trail for me was that it's so close to home, and I loved the idea of the simplicity of riding from the front door. That also meant that we start our day in very familiar terrain. The route takes in a lap of the Glentrash Red, which showcases some of southern Scotland's most popular single track. From there it heads out of Peebles at one of the classic cross-country and gravel climbs up Hamilton Hill before working its way across some amazing open moorland towards West Linton, which was where we'd planned our first refuel on the ride. While some of the team were out filming us at points during the day, it was really important to me that the route was still fully self-supported.
Okay.
So we've refueled in West Linton with some boiled eggs that are pretty grim but necessary for the protein. We're now on a wee stretch of road heading to 9 Mile Burn. How you feeling, Fi? Good?
I'm just out for a nice wee paddle.
Sweet.
You got a made you company now.
You got a tour room. Snack time.
How far are you in?
Haven't a clue. 91.1819. Hey.
So, not halfway yet.
As we headed into town and cycled along the Crammon seafront, we noticed someone waving in the distance. It turned out my mum had been tracking us on Find My Friends and had come to meet us as we passed through. She's always been really supportive, so it was pretty cool to see her waiting for us as the sun was starting to set. The ride through the city is awesome. It totally adds a different style of riding to an otherwise off-road route, and it's a really good feeling when you reach the sea, having travelled on your own accord from the Scottish borders. Portobello also happened to be our midway point, making it the perfect time to stop for some proper food.
How's it going, Janey? How's it going?
Good, yeah? Really good.
Is that about halfway?
Yeah, I think so. We've done... I can tell you. How do I get to it? We've done 116k and 2,520, so yeah, halfway, pretty much. Halfway height gain, maybe a little bit less than halfway on the distance. Can't see me because my light is pretty much out for now. How do I turn it on? There we are. I've stopped to have some paracetamol because I have ridden into a tree. It was like what even was that fee? It was like a half dead tree at the side of the trail that I just put my leg straight into.
It was like a stave.
Oh my god, I fell into gorse and brambles. Or whatever it was. Anyway, pretty painful. So, here we go. So we're between Lauder and Melrose on this lovely section of road, which is really nice after what we've just come through. And I feel kind of like the roots in the bag, to be honest. I think the roots in the bag, and just going to embrace the challenge because I'm going to get to the finish line now. So it's 10 to 2 in the morning and we're in Melrose and we've just got to get to Selkirk and then up the Free Brethren and back to Lothian. At around, must be about 4 a.m. the next morning when we reached Selkirk, I had a look at the clock and I realised that if I were to really push on up to the Free Brethren and along the Severn Way back down to Lothian, that I'd be able to do the route in less than 24 hours.
Hello!
Hello!
You guys are killing it.
Yeah, they're crushing it.
Holy shit.
They're far too happy.
I wasn't planning to do a time. We'd just been riding around, enjoying the day, taking loads of photos. We stopped at Portobello Beach, we had some dinner. It was all just a really nice kind of social ride. But for some reason, 22 hours in, I just got fixated on the fact that I wanted to do it in under 24 hours. So I pushed as hard as I possibly could. And I was going up the kind of final climb on that Severn Upland Way before the main descent back into Lothian. And I sort of just realised, like, why am I doing this? Like, what am I doing? Why am I pushing and pushing as hard as I can on my own for an arbitrary time on a clock? And I've left behind the person that's been with me for 22 hours.
How's it going, Fi?
Oh, I'm hanging on in there.
Good job. This is your final kick now.
Oh man.
Well done. Oh. The best thing about this is that the quickest way home is the way you're going.
I know.
This is just not what's important. Like, what's actually important is the person that I've ridden for the last 22 hours with. It's really funny how on something like that, you just kind of get caught up in the moment of your own internal challenge, and you sort of forget about what else is going on around you. Sophie and I finished the route together that day, and I'm really glad that we did. I think doing something like this is all about focusing on the process and, you know, ticking off each step of that process one by one and not being hung up on the end result, because when you go and ride your bike for 24 hours, I guess you're never going to know what's going to happen. I don't believe you have to be at your peak fitness to challenge yourself. It's about picking something that's right for you in that moment, pushing through it and just giving it everything you've got. Because if you never try, you never know what you're going to get. And Fi is living proof of that. So Fi only did her first 100-kilometre ride 2 or 3 weeks with me before the Capital Trail. And she went out with a completely different mindset to me. Hers was simply just to go out there, see how far she could physically get and enjoy the ride, and that's what she did.